My wife quit 6 months ago. She left every day at 8 a.m. and came back at 11 p.m. I thought she was at work. The security guard said she quit in March. 15 hours a day. 6 months. Where has she been? All names have been changed for privacy. I'm 35 years old and live in Denver, Colorado. I've been married to Rachel, 33, for 7 years. She worked as a financial analyst at Morrison and Associates, a large consulting firm in downtown Denver. She made a good salary of $95,000 a year. I'm an engineer at an aerospace company and earned $110,000. We lived comfortably. No children yet. We were planning to start trying this year. We had good savings. Traveled twice a year. No serious problems. Until 6 months ago, in March, Rachel started working late. At first, it was just once a week. Big project deadlines, she explained. I understood. Consulting is demanding work. Then twice a week. She was staying late 4 times a week. Left at 8 a.m., returned at 10-11 p.m., 15 hours away from home. I asked, when will this project be finished? Soon, honey. We just need to hold out for another month. A month passed, then another month. Nothing changed. She looked tired. There were dark circles under her eyes. She was losing weight. When she came home, she'd shower straight away, then lie on the couch with a glass of wine. She'd fall asleep in front of the TV. Our sex life was dead. I'm too tired. Sorry, she said every time. I was worried. Maybe you should talk to your boss. Ask him to redistribute the workload. No, this is temporary. I can handle it temporarily. 6 months temporarily. Yesterday was our 7th wedding anniversary. I wanted to do something special. Rachel left for work at her usual time, 8 a.m. She texted at lunchtime, I'll be late to date too. Sorry, honey. We'll celebrate over the weekend. I promised Red. On the weekend. Always on the weekend. But the weekend came, and she was too tired to do anything. I decided to surprise her. I ordered food from her favorite Italian restaurant, Carrabba's. Capre salad, fettuccine alfredo, tiramisu, her favorites. I packed everything into a cooler bag and drove to her office around 7 in the evening. Morrison and Associates is located in an office building on 17th Street. It's a glass tower with 30 floors. Their office is on the 12th floor. I parked in the garage and went up to the lobby. The security guard at the desk was an older man wearing a Ronald name badge. Good evening. I smiled. I'm here to visit my wife, Rachel Adams. She's on the 12th floor. Morrison and Associates. Ronald looked at me strangely. Rachel Adams? Yes, she's working late today. I brought a surprise dinner for our anniversary. He frowned. He looked at his computer. He typed something. Sir, Mrs. Adams no longer works here. My stomach sank. What? She quit in March, 6 months ago. The world rocked. This can't be right. She goes to work every morning at Morrison and Associates. It's her job. Ronald shook his head. I've been here 5 years. I know all the regulars. Mrs. Adams quit in March. I remember her carrying out a box of things. I helped her carry it to her car. The cooler bag fell from my hands. The food containers fell onto the marble floor. Sorry, I muttered, bending down to pick them up. Sir, are you okay? I need to excuse me. I turned around and walked out. I got into the car. I just sat there, staring at the steering wheel. She hasn't worked there for 6 months. Where does she go every day? I called her. She picked up on the third ring. Hi, honey. The voice was cheerful and energetic, not like a tired woman after 15 hours of work. Where are you? I asked. At work, of course. Why? I'm at your office. Morrison and Associates. The security guard said you quit in March. Silence. Long, dead silence. Rachel, I can explain. Where are you now? I'm at Starbucks on Colfax Avenue. Stay there. I'm coming. I hung up. The Starbucks on Colfax was 15 minutes away. I got there in 10, breaking the speed limit. Rachel sat by the window, laptop in front of her. Coffee. She looked normal, not tired, not exhausted, just normal. I sat down opposite her. Speak. Tears streamed down her face. I lost my job. When? In March. 6 months ago. Why didn't you tell me? I was ashamed. They cut a whole department. It wasn't my fault, but I felt like a failure. So you've been lying to me for 6 months, leaving every morning, pretending to go to work. I was looking for a new job. Every day, I came here, to the library, to other cafes. I sent out resumes, went to interviews until 11 o'clock at night. She looked away. Sometimes I just drove. I didn't want to come home early and confess. Admit to what? That I lost my job? Rachel, it happens. People get fired, but lies destroy marriages. People in the cafe were watching. I lowered my voice. How much money do we have left? Her face turned pale. Rachel, how much money? I used our savings. A chill ran through my body. How much? About $40,000. $40,000. Our down payment fund. Our emergency fund. That's it. For what? For rent, bills, groceries. I didn't want you to notice that my paycheck wasn't coming, so I used savings to cover my share of the expenses. My part, I almost screamed. We have a joint account. This is all our money. You stole from our future to cover up a lie. She sobbed. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Did you find a job? In 6 months? She shook her head. Why not? I don't know. The job market is tough. My experience is too specialized. I've sent out hundreds of resumes, been to 20 interviews. Nothing. And instead of telling me, your husband, you decided to lie for 6 months. I was afraid you would think I was a loser. I think you're a liar. I stood up. I can't look at you now. I'm going to Mark's. Mark is my best friend since college. He lives across town. Please don't go. I left. I told Mark everything. He listened, shaking his head. Dude, this is crazy. 6 months? 6 damn months. And she spent $40K hiding it. Yes. Where did she get the money if she doesn't work? Good question. Very good question. I took out my phone. I opened our banking app. It was a joint account. Both of our cards were linked. Started looking through transactions for the last 6 months. Rachel's paycheck is direct deposit every 2 weeks. $3,100 after deductions. Last deposit February 28, 6 months ago. After that, nothing. No deposits from Morrison and Associates. But the money kept coming in. Rachel spent it as usual. Groceries, gas, restaurants, clothes. Where does the money come from? Then I saw it. Transfers from our savings to our checking account. $2,000, $3,000 every 2 weeks. On the exact same dates her paycheck was supposed to arrive. She faked her salary by transferring our savings. Mark, look at this. He looked at the screen. Whistle. She created a fake salary. It's methodical, bland, not an impulsive lie, calculated deception. Then I noticed something else. Cash withdrawals. $500, $800 once a week, every week, from ATMs all over Denver. In 6 months, about $15,000 in cash. What did she spend $15,000 cash on? I got home at midnight. Rachel's car was gone. It was still out there somewhere. She wrote, staying at Amy's today, giving you space. I'm so sorry. Amy is her best friend. I didn't answer. Instead, I started searching. Her office at home, laptop, documents. I found a folder in the desk drawer. Finances personal. Inside are bank statements, but not ours. A different bank. Wells Fargo. The account is in her name only. I opened the statement for the last month. Balance $127,458. $127,000. In a secret account. Deposits every week. $2,000, $3,000. The dates coincided with cash withdrawals from our joint account. She took cash from our money and deposited it into her secret account. I sat down on the floor, holding the extract with trembling hands. She didn't just lose her job and hide it. She stole from us. From me, systematically. For months. For what? The next morning, I went to Wells Fargo and asked to speak to a manager. I explained the situation. I showed her our marriage certificate and my ID. I found my wife's bank statements. I need information. The manager, a woman named Christina, was sympathetic but cautious. Sir, the account is in her name individually. I cannot disclose the information without her consent. The money in this account is from our marital property. She transferred money into it during the marriage. In Colorado, it's community property. I have a right to know. She thought for a moment. Let me consult with the legal department. An hour later, she returned. Okay, given the circumstances and Colorado laws, I can provide basic information. She showed me the account history on the computer screen. Account opened March 5th, 1 week after dismissal. Deposits, regular cash deposits, $2,000, $3,000 weekly. Withdrawals, very little, a few hundred for groceries and gas. Current balance, $127,458. Are there any records of where the cash came from? I asked. Cash deposits do not have source tracking. Sorry, but I knew the source. Our savings, my salary, our future. Is there a beneficiary on the account? Christina checked. Yes. Amy Chin. Amy, her best friend. I drove to Amy's house. She lived in an apartment in Capitol Hill. He knocked on the door. Amy opened it, surprised. David, what? Where is Rachel? She's at work. Amy paused. Understood. You knew. I said, you knew it didn't work. Amy looked away. David, how long have you known? From the very beginning. She told me when she got fired, and you helped her lie to me for 6 months. She begged. She was panic, shamed, and a secret account. You're the beneficiary. Did you know she was stealing from us? Amy's face went pale. Stealing? No. She said she was saving it for a surprise for you, for a car or something. Surprise? She spent $40,000 of our savings and hid $127,000 in a secret account. Which fuck surprise? I didn't know it was that much. She said several thousand. Where is she, Amy? The truth, not a lie. Where is my wife? Amy hesitated. Then she sighed. She rents an apartment on Santa Fe Drive for 3 months now. The world stopped spinning. What? She said that you needed space, that the marriage was strained. She rents a small apartment, lies there a few days a week. I had no idea that the marriage was stressed. I screamed. She never talked about problems. David, I'm just saying what she told me. Give me the address. I don't think this is a good address. Amy. She wrote it down on a piece of paper. Apartment 304. I grabbed the piece of paper and left. Update 1. The last 3 days have been surreal. Here's what happened. I drove to the apartment on Santa Fe Drive. It was an old building, inexpensive. I went up to the 3rd floor, apartment 304. I knocked. Nobody answered. I called Rachel. She answered. I'm at your apartment. Open the door. Silence. Then, how did you know? Amy told me. Open up. A minute later, the door opened. Rachel stood there, wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt, no makeup. She didn't look like a woman who works late. Can I come in? She retreated. The apartment was small. A studio, a bed, a small sofa, a kitchenette. Clean, minimalist. How long? I asked. 3 months. Why? She sat down on the sofa and hugged herself. After I got fired, I panicked, depressed. I couldn't stay at home, pretending everything was normal. So I rented this place. I'd come here after work. Just sit, thinking about what? About how I ruined everything. How I disappointed you. How I can't find a job. How we're going to lose everything. So you stole $127,000 of our money. She looked at me, shocked. How do you know? I found the statements. I went to the bank. I found out everything. Tears streamed down her face. I didn't steal. I saved. For what? And in case we get divorced. In case you find out and leave me. I wanted to have something to start over with. I stared at her. Were you planning a divorce? No, I was just preparing just in case. Just in case the worst happens. The worst thing, Rachel, is not divorce. The worst thing is lying, stealing, betrayal of trust. I walked around the small apartment. 6 months. 6 months you pretended, leaving every morning like it was work, coming back late tired, refusing me sex, avoiding me the whole time you were here, alone, building a secret life. This isn't a secret life. It's just a place where I could breathe for my money. Our money, the money we saved for a house, for children, for the future. She cried harder. I was going to give it all back as soon as I found a job. Were you looking for a job? Yes, sure. Show me. What? Your laptop. Email. Show me the job applications you've submitted. She hesitated. Then she stood up and brought her laptop. I opened Gmail. The job applications folder. I scrolled through it. In 6 months, 12 applications. 12 in 6 months. This is all. I was looking for suitable positions. I didn't want to settle for just anything. 12 applications in 6 months. Rachel, people send out 12 a day when they're looking for a job. I was depressed. I couldn't function. Then you should have told me. We would have found help, therapy, medication, anything. But instead you lied and stole. I closed the laptop. I'm leaving. I've contacted a divorce lawyer. You'll get the papers next week. Divorce? David, no. You made a choice. Rachel, 6 months of choices. Every day you chose lies over truth. These are the consequences. I left. She didn't try to stop me. Financial investigation. My lawyer, Linda Harris, took the case. I showed her everything: the bank statements, the secret account, the cash withdrawals. You have a strong case, she said. In Colorado, everything earned and accumulated during a marriage is community property. A secret account funded with joint money is an illegal asset concealment. What can I get? Minimum 50% of the secret account is $63,000, plus compensation for lost savings is $40,000. Possibly more, given the deception. And the apartment, she paid the rent with our joint money. You can demand reimbursement for these expenses as well. Linda began digging deeper. She requested full bank records and credit card histories. A week later, she called. David, I need to show you something. She laid out the printouts in her office. Rachel's credit card. Look at these transactions. I looked. Expenses for the last 6 months. Starbucks, lots of them, almost every day. It's okay. She's always loved coffee. But then restaurants. Expensive restaurants. Guard and Grace $200, Ryoja $180, Beck and $250, 2 or 3 times a week. Did she eat alone? I asked. The receipts show purchases for two main courses, 2 appetizers, a bottle of wine. My stomach dropped. With whom? We don't know, but there's a pattern. Every Tuesday and Thursday, the same restaurants, alternating Tuesdays and Thursdays, the days when she worked late. She cheated, I said dumbly. Maybe, or she was meeting with friends. We need more evidence. Linda hired a private investigator. His name was Michael Stone, a former cop. Surveillance. Michael followed Rachel for a week. I received daily reports. Monday, Rachel left home at 8:30 a.m., went to Starbucks on Colfax, worked on her laptop until 12:00 p.m., went to the Denver library, stayed until 3:00 p.m., went to her apartment on Santa Fe, stayed until 6:00 p.m., returned home at 7:30 p.m. Tuesday, left home at 8:30, Starbucks, met a man at Ocean Prime at 6:00. All about 40, business suit. They hugged when they met, dined for 2.5 hours. Left together, stood by her car, talking. He put his hand on her shoulder. She smiled. They parted ways. She went home, arrived at 10:15. Wednesday, Starbucks. Library, apartment. Thursday, Starbucks. Met the same man at Mizuna at 6:30 p.m. Same pattern, long dinner, chatting by the car. Then we parted ways. Home at 10:00 p.m. Michael received photographs. Rachel and a man in a restaurant, laughing, sitting close, his hand touching hers on the table. By the car, hugging, long hugs, not kisses, but intimate. Michael also found out who he was. He ran his license plate number. Thomas Wilson, 42, senior manager at Morrison and Associates. Her former company, her former colleague, maybe her former boss. I called Rachel. I need to talk. Now, come home. She arrived an hour later. She looked scared. I showed her the photos. She and Thomas in a restaurant, hugging by the car. Who is this? Her face turned white as paper. Thomas. He was my boss at Morrison. You're dating him. No, we're just friends. Friends who dine at expensive restaurants twice a week. Friends who hug for 10 minutes. He supports me. After I was fired, I was devastated. Thomas helped. He understands the corporate world, the stress. With our money, Rachel, those dinners cost thousands. From our savings. I didn't think about it like that. Are you fucking him? What? No. Is it true? Yes. We never were just friends. Does he know you're married? She fell silent. Rachel, does he know? I told him that we separated, that I was in the process of getting a divorce. I laughed. Bitterly, hysterically. Of course you said it. Another life for the collection. David, it's not what you think. I think my wife lived a double life for 6 months, pretending to work, stealing our money, having dinner with another man twice a week, lying to everyone, to me, to her friend, to him. I stood up. The divorce papers are filed tomorrow. Get the house out by the end of the week. This is my house too. The house was purchased in my name before the marriage. You have no right to it. My lawyer confirmed this. It was true. I bought the house a year before my wedding. In Colorado, premarital property remains separate. Are you kicking me out? You kicked yourself out 6 months ago when you decided to lie instead of trusting me. Update 2. The divorce is in progress. Here are the updates. Rachel hired a lawyer, an expensive one. She's using money from a secret account. Their position, the secret account was her personal savings for an emergency. She had the right to financial independence. My lawyer blasted this. The money came from joint assets. This is asset concealment, which is illegal in Colorado. The court ordered that $127,000 be frozen until the assets are finally divided. I met with Thomas. Yes, I know, it's crazy, but I needed answers. I called him on his work number. Michael had given me the information. Mr. Wilson, this is David Adams, Rachel's husband. I need to talk. A long pause. Okay. When? We met in a cafe, neutral territory. Thomas looked exactly like the photo, tall, confident, in a business suit, but sitting across from me, he looked uncomfortable. Thank you for agreeing to meet. I began. I have to apologize, he said immediately. If I'd known Rachel was still married, I never would have. Have you met her? No. I mean, yes, we had dinner together, but romantically. No, she said she was going through a divorce. I thought I was helping a friend through a tough time. Friend, I repeated. How close a friend? He sighed. Rachel worked under me for 2 years. She was a good employee. When the company cut her department, I felt guilty. I tried to help her find a new position, introduced her to contacts, gave recommendations, and dinners, networking. I thought she talked about career goals, industry trends. I shared advice. Everything seemed professional. Did you pay for the dinners? Sometimes she did. We split the bill often. When she paid, she was using our joint money. Money I didn't know she was spending. Thomas looked ill. I didn't know. If I'd known the whole situation. Have you ever kissed? Physically? No, not once. I swear. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to believe that at least this wasn't another lie. Last question. Did you help her find a job? He shook his head. I tried, but honestly, Rachel wasn't interested. Every position I offered, she had excuses. The salary was too low. It was too far. The culture wasn't right. After a while, I realized she didn't want the job. What? She was comfortable. No job, no responsibility. I thought maybe she was depressed, but she never sought help, just floated. She swam with our money, with our dreams. Rachel started working. The irony is that just as the divorce was starting, Rachel found a job. Within 2 weeks, junior analyst position at a small financial firm. $55,000/year, half of her previous salary. Her lawyer uses this in the divorce. Look, she's employed. She tried. The job market is really tough. My lawyer is skeptical. She found a job 2 weeks after the divorce began, but she couldn't find one 6 months before that. That's deliberate unemployment. The court agreed. Her incapacity was no excuse for stealing joint assets. The court ruled secret account $127,000, $63,500 for me, $63,500 for her reimbursement for lost savings, $40,000. She must return me $20,000. House remains mine, premarital property, her apartment. She pays me $9,000, 3 months rent from joint funds, dinners with Thomas. She pays me $2,500, half the cost. In total, she owes me about $32,000. She also pays her attorney fees till $15,000 and half of mine till $10,000. 3 weeks ago, the judge signed the divorce final. The marriage is over. After 7 years. Rachel cried in the courtroom. I felt nothing, only relief. After the trial, she asked to talk. We went out into the hallway. David, I'm truly sorry for everything. The lies, the money, everything. I know. I was scared, panicked. I made terrible decisions. Yes, I did. Will you ever forgive me? I thought maybe someday, but not now. There, she left. I watched her walk down the hallway, growing smaller until she disappeared. It's strange. I didn't feel triumph or anger, just emptiness. Update 3. 6 months since the divorce. A year since I learned the truth. Final update. I sold the house. Too many memories. Bought small an apartment closer to work. Got a promotion at work. Senior engineer. $135,000/year. More responsibility. But I love the job. Financially stable. After dividing my assets and receiving money from Rachel, I have about $150,000 in savings. I've started investing and planning for the future. I heard from mutual friends that she's still working as a junior analyst. She rents a small apartment and lives modestly. Thomas, they are not together. He transferred to another office in Chicago, avoiding drama. Amy, her former best friend, they don't talk anymore. Amy feels used. Rachel is alone. The consequences of 6 months of lies. What I learned: trust is the foundation of marriage. Without it, everything falls apart. The lies mount. What starts with a small lie turns into months of deception. Financial integrity is critical. Secret accounts and hidden expenses are red flags. Depression is real, but lying isn't the solution. Rachel needed help how to cover up. Now questions for you. Asterisk, asterisk, do you think David did the right thing by filing for divorce? Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, should he have tried to save the marriage after he found out the truth? Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, how would you react if you discovered that your spouse lost his job 6 months ago and hid it? Asterisk, asterisk. Asterisk, asterisk, was it fair to demand reimbursement for Rachel's dinners with Thomas? Asterisk, asterisk.